Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Crimes, Killers, Cults.
And beer.
And beer. So, it's just two crazy Florida men drinking beer, talking about true crime. In fact, those two Florida men, that makes it even better.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. So, anyway, that's Todd.
And that's Bill.
And this episode is a doozy. Really intense, really scary. And the title that's going to go on this episode is going to be Crimes, Cannibals, Cults, and Bullshit.
And bullshit.
And bullshit. Yeah, there's bullshit in this. Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went, and bullshit.
Well, you know, seemed like the thing to do.
Yeah, of course. So, what are you drinking tonight?
I'm still on a rum and coke kick, so rum and coke.
Okay, I'm still on a Bud Light kick.
Well, yeah, no kidding. I'll get back to beer like one of these days, but I don't know.
Well, I've been on a Bud Light kick for decades.
I know. That's what I'm saying. It's like you'll never change.
Nope. So, well, I don't have any goofy questions. I don't have any rants. I don't have any stories or anything like that to start off with. Do you?
No, not really.
Okay, well then let's head
jump right
jump
into
first.
Yep, here we go. Buckle up.
We're covering the Kurim case, and it's a case about crimes, cannibalism, cults, and bullshit.
And
thank you, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Yep. That was it.
So and it's a really intense case if you haven't heard of it. The source material for this is, of course, Brian Greene's book, The Kurim Case, The Savage Tale of Cannibal. I don't know. I don't have the book in front of me, but there's a long subtitle like there is on all of his books.
Yes.
So, and this one does not have the little disclaimer that some of his other books do because it's so recent.
No, so it hasn't been possibly fictionalized?
Right.
Oh, okay.
Well, there's a lot of fiction in it, but that's not because of the story. It's because of, what these idiots say.
Well, yeah, there's that, but
Right. And that's the main thing of the bullshit. So, and then there's something at the end that's bullshit. But so, Kurim is a tiny town with about a population of about 10,000 people. It's near northwest Brno, the second largest city in the Czech Republic. Is that it? Czech.
Yeah,
Oh,
like Czechoslovakia. Czech.
Or Czech 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but spelled different.
Right. Okay. The Czech Republic is a tiny town with relatively no crime, and it's peaceful. Everybody knows everybody, But in May of 2007, something happened that shattered that peace.
Uh-oh.
There was a new father. His name was Edward Turdy. Trdy.
TRDY. Should have bought a vowel.
I don't want to call him Turdy.
Right.
We'll just call him Eddie. We'll just call him Ed T.
Eddie T. I like it, yes.
Yeah, because I don't want to call him Turdy. That sounds disrespectful.
Unless that's really how it's pronounced, but who knows?
Right, but we don't know.
We don't know.
Because we're lame Americans here.
Yeah.
Well, Florida men. So a new father, Eddie T. He was setting up a video baby monitor, and his wife had gone into labor that morning, and he was in the hospital. or she was in the hospital, and he was, making sure that the baby's room was going to be ready when they came home with the baby.
Mm-hmm.
So he turned on the screen, and he didn't see his baby's room.
Uh-oh.
What he saw was a small boy around 6 or 7 years old. He was naked and tied up, and he was just like playing on the floor. The image was like grainy monochrome, and the room was dark. But he was able to see the boy, and the fact that the room that he was in was very, very tiny.
Okay.
But the crazy thing is the boy did not look miserable, and Edward decided, he was too excited to make the connection. He just thought that the thing was odd, and figured maybe the kid was just playing some weird game, because you know how kids can do that. Just
right.
Like, hey, I'm gonna whack my head with a screwdriver because it's fun.
Yeah, because it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, so I'm gonna have somebody tie me up naked, and I'm gonna lie on the floor and play with a roll of tape.
Yeah.
So
are we going to get
dumbfounded?
Are we going to get to the part where it says why he's seeing this and not his kid's room?
Yeah. Yes. Well, it's pretty simple explanation.
That was just odd. Like what? Yeah, he like dialed up another one on somebody else's cam or something.
It was a malfunction.
Mm.
It was his next door neighbor.
Oh, so he actually like received his next door neighbor's cam.
Right.
Oh, okay.
So he went on with his day, and he visited his wife in the hospital, and he came back home, and he decided to have a look to see if his receiver was still acting up and picking up someone else's camera feed.
Okay.
This is like 6 or 7 hours later. The boy was still in the room, naked and tied up. Still, after 6 or 7 hours. And he was literally eating something off of the floor.
Oh, jeez. Oh.
So, yeah. I should just go ahead and say it right now. Major trigger warning in this. I mean, if this type of stuff really gets to you, to the like involving abusive kids and stuff like that, I never thought I would say this, but you might want to skip this one.
Yeah.
I don't want you to skip it, but I don't want people to get grossed out or anything like that, or I don't want people to get so disturbed and everything that they have a panic attack and all that stuff. And I know that's possible because it pretty much happened to me during the frickin' BTK episode.
Yeah, right.
So
this shit always bums me out, but I stick through it. But, yeah, like he said, I don't blame you if you want to skip this one, but hopefully you don't. Right. Hopefully you can hang in there with us.
Yeah, and I'll give a warning when the bad stuff starts.
Okay, so that means I can go too. Just kidding.
No, man. You're in it. You're in it. So yeah. So he decided to call the police about it. And the police went to, they came to his house and they looked at the footage and went door to door nearby to investigate. And most of the people were cooperative and let the police look around through their house.
Okay.
But then they knocked on the door of Clara Morova, I guess.
Yeah.
We're just going to call her Clara for the rest of the episode.
We'll just call her Clara, yeah.
Yeah. And she was kind of a reclusive woman who had moved in 2006. And okay. She was asked if she had a little boy in the house, and she said no. The only child that was there was her 13-year-old daughter, Annika. So, satisfied, the officers left.
All right.
I mean, I don't really have any fault with them on that.
Yeah, she answered their questions. I mean, what else do they want? What else?
Right. Exactly. You don't. But still, Eddie T. Edward T. was still at his house watching and recording the monitor feed. he was recording it with a video camera just to document it.
Yeah.
And he actually heard the conversation between the cops and Clara through the monitor.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay.
So he goes and he flags the cops down. He says, "Get back over here. I got something for you." So he played that back for the cops of where you could clearly hear the conversation because I guess there's thin walls or something.
Yeah.
And so the cops, they went back to Clara's with probable cause. And Clara couldn't object this time.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Like Clara said that they were scaring Annika. Like, "Oh, you're scaring Annika." So the police pushed past her and started looking through the house. And they don't need a warrant in the Czech Republic, apparently.
Well, you got probable cause.
Well, that's true. They do have probable cause. But the police found a padlocked closet under the stairs. And they're like, "Open it." They're like, open that for me." She's like, "No, I don't have the key. It's been locked ever since we got here, ever since we moved in, and I don't have the key."
Sure it has.
Yeah. So the cops called the fire department to break the lock.
Okay.
And you would think that I mean, you would think that police would have bolt cutters in the back of their car just for situations like this.
Yeah.
I mean, what if they have to go rescue? Yeah. What if they have to go rescue somebody that's in a locked room?
I guess they got to call the fire department.
We're here, but we got to call the fire department.
Yeah, because they don't let us carry bolt cutters.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Clara called her sister Katerina, who quickly came over. Clara, Katerina, and Annika all blocked the door and to the closet, and Annika began kicking and screaming, throwing a major tantrum.
Oh yeah.
Like, that makes me think she's innocent, huh?
No, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
There's no way she's involved in this at all.
Nope. So,
God.
the firemen arrived, and the women were removed, and the door was open. The smell poured out.
Uh-oh.
There were months worth of piss and shit and vomit just all over the floor and everything. The boy was covered with it too. And it was hot in that room as well. There's no air conditioning in it. And it was during the summertime.
I mean, dude, it's a closet under the stairs. Of course there's no
right.
AC.
So Clara admitted that was her son, Andre, and the cops asked him why they were keeping him like this, and she said that they couldn't possibly understand. And Katerina said that he liked to play naked.
God, of course.
And roll around in shit.
Yeah. So we just let him do it, it's whatever. It's good for him. He's built his immune system.
Yeah, he does. He has an aversion to using a toilet, so we send him in there, and he likes to play with it.
Yeah.
So Andre was taken in an ambulance, and he was completely quiet the whole time, not saying a word. It was clearly PTSD. And when the police tried to question him, like kind of firmly but gently, he started screaming, "Just kill me! Just kill me!"
Uh-oh. That's not good.
No. Andre had all sorts of like wounds and scars and welts in his groin area.
Oh shit!
And cuts, and even a scar of a chunk missing from a butt cheek.
Oh damn!
And he was malnourished and he was dehydrated. And Andre had an older brother, Jacob, and he was at school. He was picked up and taken to the Brno Children's Institution along with Annika. Clara was arrested, and Jacob had similar wounds to Andre, including the chunk out of his butt cheek.
Oh, jeez. the hell?
So, Jacob said that the scars were from his pet gerbil.
Okay. I'm sorry. I don't know why I laughed at that, but just like, well, actually, I do, because that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And the welts on his groin were wasp stings.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Because, you know, what'd you do? The hump a fucking hornet's nest? Come on now.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're obviously brainwashed. They're obviously, Stockholm syndrome, maybe.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah,
So
they're definitely messed up.
Yeah. So finally a nurse got through to him, and he said that he actually admitted that the welts were from cigarettes being put out on him and that the scratches were done with a fork.
Oh.
And he said that they were done by his mother. And Clara didn't smoke. She had just brought the cigarettes she had just bought the cigarettes just to burn the kids.
Just to burn the kids? Oh my God.
She wasn't even a smoker.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one, all right.
Yep. So Andre finally opened up, and he said the same thing that his brother had said. And he also said that he had been in that room the entire time since 2006 in December. It's May of 2007.
Wow. So what, like 6 months?
Yeah.
I think, right?
Yeah.
Jesus.
So both boys mentioned that a third woman, Aunt Nancy, and she worked at the daycare that both boys had gone to. And she also gave Andre, this woman Nancy, had given Andre food while he was in prison.
Oh, okay.
Probably just.
Well, at least somebody was looking out for him.
Nah, she was beating the shit out of him too.
Oh.
And Nancy turned out to be a woman named Hannah Basova, a social worker who worked with Katerina at the daycare. Katerina and this woman are both social workers, and they're involved with the abuse of these kids.
What? Aren't they the ones that are supposed to be stopping this kind of thing?
Exactly.
What the fuck? All right.
I am glad that I've learned how to separate myself from this, because I have I say this a lot with a particularly bad one. It's like if this one had been in the place of BTK that early on in our podcast, this would have just knocked it.
Yeah, we would have stopped this one for sure.
Yeah. So when police brought her in for questioning, she said that the boy had exaggerated the situation and the room was a timeout room, nothing more. But, of course, she had no explanation for all of the filth.
Yeah. You don't put a kid in timeout for 6 fucking months. Jesus.
Yeah, and you don't put a kid in timeout in a room that's full of shit.
Yeah, right? I mean, come on. And even with the door closed, they couldn't smell all that stuff?
I know, because that's what I was thinking too.
It's like, how do you even live in that house if that kid's in there shitting and pissing and puking all over himself and playing it, dude? That shit's, you gotta be smelling that.
I know. That's what I was thinking too. And you can't just seal it off and everything and keep the smell out.
Yeah, dude, that shit permeates, man.
Yeah, and those thin walls and everything. Not to mention the crack in the door.
Yeah, dude, there's no way they couldn't smell that. I mean, how are they living with that? Oh, God damn, whatever. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's kind of like someone with a bunch of cats kind of gets used to the litter box smell.
Oh, you think they went nose blind to it?
Yeah, I could have.
Yeah. It's funny, too, because I was going to bring up the fact that, dude, I have 8 cats, dude, and if one of them takes a shit in a litter box in the fucking paw room, I can smell it. It's funny that you said that, because I was about to go there myself.
Well, I did it for a different reason. I did it to kind of pick on you about cats.
I know. But, I was going there, too. But, even for the most part, dude, yeah, it's like, Whatever. I got 8 cats. I got 3 litter boxes. They get fucking scooped out like 2-3 times a day. It's like I try to keep it under control.
Ugh. So I like cats, but I don't like litter boxes.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of litter boxes either, especially the cleaning them out part. But anyway, beside the point.
So the boys opened up, but Annika was a completely different story. She had to develop mental challenges, and she was angry for being kept away from Clara. And Clara wasn't her biological mother. Clara had adopted Annika.
Oh, all right.
So, she wouldn't let the doctors examine her, and she wouldn't even take a bath. But 3 days after the bus, Annika opened a window in the institution and took off, bolted.
Okay.
And nobody knew where she was, and where she had gone, or even if she had been kidnapped. They had no clue.
All right.
The authorities were worried that she had been taken by someone involved in the boys' torture.
Oh, so they think kidnapping or something, huh?
They don't know what to think. She just disappeared. And she was doing that odd behavior and not letting the doctors examine her or not even take a bath because I'm sure she smelled like that house.
Oh, yeah, no shit. Jesus.
So as I mentioned, Katerina, Clara's sister, was a social worker. And Clara had decided that she wanted to be a social worker as well and began studying for it. A year later, Annika arrived. And she had never talked about adopting. So this was strange. And she moved Annika in, and people noticed that Clara didn't really do much anymore. Her entire life revolved around Annika. And don't worry, you're going to get details of why Annika's there and all that stuff and how she wound up. All the details are there.
All right.
So, Annika's adoption was approved by the state, but they had no information on her past or anything like that. So, it was Katerina that had brought Annika to Clara. And Annika and Katerina said that Annika had drug-addicted parents and had put her with a friend named Antonia Dremanova.
Dremanova. Okay.
Yeah. And she never came back. And then, she abandoned it. And Antonia took care of Annika until 2004 when Antonia died. A mutual friend of Antonia and Katerina took Annika, or the ones that took Annika to Katerina. A lot of names here.
Yeah, right. All right.
So the two women helped Clara with all the adoption issues, and once Annika was there, Clara cut everyone other than Katerina and Hannah out of her life, and of course Annika.
Okay.
She even started blowing off her boys in favor of Annika, and this is when the torture began.
Oh boy. So where's the father or the husband during all this?
They had I left that part out. But what had happened was they had gotten divorced, and they had been in the father had been in their life until Annika, or until Clara just basically drummed him out, drummed her own parents, just drummed everybody out.
Okay, so she just basically ghosted everybody or told everybody like, fuck off, leave me alone.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Correct.
Well, not cool, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, correct. So things didn't add up with Annika. She was 13, but she knew calculus among other advanced, subjects and stuff like that. It's possible she was autistic, because sometimes autistic kids can be like super intelligent.
Yes.
So Katerina's co-workers noticed that Annika looked like a woman named Barbara Skrlova. and she worked at the daycare with them, and she had shared an apartment with Katerina at one point. So she works with her, or she had worked with her, and she's a roommate. Excuse me. Could this be Annika's mom, maybe? I mean, she was in her 30s. This Barbora woman.
Yeah.
So, could be Annika's mom?
Maybe.
But Barbora had quit the
I know
daycare.
where this is going.
I think you do too. Just by the questions you're asking. So Barbora had quit shortly before Annika had turned up with Katerina.
I think I've heard this story before.
Oh, really? I thought that once I started getting into it, things sounded familiar to me, but I'm not positive if I knew about this or if
I'm not entirely positive, but I don't think I've heard this particular story, but there are aspects of this story that seem familiar to me. Like I saw a movie or something that was like a similar thing or some shit. I don't remember.
What was the movie called?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well,
and I don't even know if it was a movie. It could have been like one of those
like a documentary.
Yeah, like where there was this girl that would go around and like get like adopted or get like foster parents and stuff, and she acted like she was 12 or 13, but she was really like 30.
Yeah.
Or something. I don't know. Maybe it could. Those stories could have been based off of this. I don't know, but this part kind of sounds familiar to me.
Well, there was a movie based on this story. It's a fiction movie, but it was based on this story. So I'm not going to say what it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to. I'll say what it is later when I'll say what it is later.
Of course. Yeah.
And then you can tell me if you were right or not. But I think you know.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's starting to sound familiar, but keep going because why not?
Okay.
Well, we have to, but
yeah. Our contract specifies we must finish the episode.
Yeah, we can't put out a 30-minute episode because hey, I figured it out. I seen that movie. It's over. Roll credits.
So, shortly after Annika had vanished, the premier of South Moravia had received a handwritten letter from Annika. And she had heard about Clara's arrest, and she had escaped the institution allegedly to help Clara.
All right.
It also said that Andre had been locked up as punishment, harsh, but he deserved it. He was unruly, and he threatened to kill both Annika, her, and Clara. So Clara had begun this harsh punishment to work his bad tendencies out of him.
Oh. All right.
So something seemed off about this letter. They doubted that it came from Annika. It was perfectly written. There weren't any like errors that a 13-year-old kid would make, and it was 10 pages long.
Holy crap!
Yeah, its vocabulary and cadence was childlike, but parts showed writing experience that no 13-year-old would have, let alone a mentally challenged one.
Right.
Yeah. So somebody wrote it for her, maybe? But
yeah. We'll go with that for now.
So questions arose from Annika's adoption when the detectives began looking into it after Clara's arrest. She had been adopted legally, which included a DNA test so covering all angles, they pulled DNA from that they had gotten from Annika when she was in the institution, and they ran it. This DNA was different from the DNA that was taken at the time of the adoption.
Oh.
The girl in court for the DNA test and Annika were not the same person.
Oh boy, here we go.
detectives also discovered that something else was fishy. It was another link between Katerina and Barbora. Barbora had been part of a cult that her father was the leader of. It was an offshoot of a cult called the Grail Movement. And it split away, but it split away from them, so that they could make it exactly how they want it to be. Grail Movement, cult, yeah, but is it a destructive one? Is it a crazy one?
I don't know, like Grail Movement, like the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I'll get to explaining the gist of what the Grail Movement believed.
Okay.
So they wanted it to be however they wanted it to be, and that's how the Seventh-day Adventist Church, or as the Mormons and everything, it's just like the Branch Davidians did that and basically broke away from the Seventh-day Adventists.
Yeah.
The Mormon fundamentalist groups and stuff did the same thing with Mormonism. So the worst cults around are offshoots of another one that's not necessarily as bad.
Offshoots of lame cults.
Yeah. So Barbora had initiated Katerina into the cult when they were in college.
Oh.
And so now they're co-workers, they're roommates, and they're cult members.
And they're cult
together.
members. Oh, boy. Yeah. The plot thickens.
Yes, indeed. So once the boys realized that they were safe, the true full scope of the horror began to emerge. They had an overall fondness for Annika. And then the doctors told the boy that Annika was an imposter. And the boys freaked out.
Uh-oh.
Is that what you were thinking?
Kinda, yeah. Well, I mean,
I wanted to word.
No, go ahead. I got nothing.
I wanted to word it so that it all came out as a bombshell, but there was just no way around it. There was no way around this order. So, in June of 2007, Annika ceased to exist as far as the law was concerned. There were no records of her existence prior to her adoption by Clara, and Barbora had also disappeared. Barbora and Annika had disappeared. So,
doesn't take a Mensa student to put two and two together here.
Nah. But a few days later, she did reappear. June 15th in 2007, she showed up in Copenhagen, Denmark.
Which one?
Barbora.
Okay.
So, she was with 4 men. Her father, Joseph Skurla, a lawyer named Zendek Haruzek.
Okay.
He was a former cop. Joseph Kolinsky. Joseph Kolinsky. Kolinsky. And another man named Vladislav Rizika.
Vladislav. I love that name. That's such a cool name.
Vladislav.
Baby,
don't hurt me.
Oh, boy. Yeah, that's...
That is a cool name, Vladislav.
Yes, I love that name. Vladislav. Yeah, that was so good that you went into that. Oh, my God.
Huh? Oh, yeah. So I wish that... Yeah, So what do you want for dinner tonight? Vladislav. Sounds like like schnitzel. It sounds like it would be like you got schnitzel. It does sound like a German or a Russian dinner.
Yeah,
Vladislav.
like a dish.
Vladislav. Yeah,
it does. Yeah, you're right.
But they were all of these guys were Czech Republic citizens, and they were hiding Barbora because she could be taken back to the Czech Republic because of a suspected link to the abuse.
Oh yeah, gotta hide people from extradition, man.
Yeah. So she admitted that she had posed as Annika, but she meant no harm by it. She felt like a child. She felt like a child inside and wanted to live like one.
Oh no.
That was just what Barbora said.
Yeah.
But
so
like
what is that? That's okay. So what is that? What is that? Transageism?
Transageism. Good one.
Well, I mean, like seriously, dude. It's like, okay, you got transgenders. You got the dude. There's a guy on TikTok, and I love this guy on TikTok, dude. He's a black guy, but he calls himself transracial because he identifies as a white man. And I fucking love him, dude. He is friggin' hilarious. So yeah, what do you call that? I identify. I'm 30 years old, but I identify as a child. What do you call that?
Transageism. I like it.
Transageism. Transageist.
Yeah. Does that mean that I am transagic as well because of the fact that I'm 29 with 20 years experience?
Sure.
No,
no. I mean, like, okay, like mentally, I feel like I'm still like 18 or 19, but physically, yeah, I'm definitely old and fucking decrepit for sure.
Yeah, it's like my brain thinks I'm pretty. Okay, my brain thinks I'm 25, but my body thinks I'm an idiot.
Yeah, exactly. My brain goes, "Come on, man, let's do this." My body goes, "Are you fucking crazy?"
Yeah,
we can't do that anymore.
So,
anyway,
the DNA question was explained. The child who appeared in court as Annika was Victor Scala's daughter.
Okay.
For the DNA. So Barbora said that her father wasn't involved in all of this. She also said that Andre's imprisonment had only happened that one time, and it just happened to be on the day of the raid.
All right, sure.
And she also talked about herself in third person.
Oh boy, yeah. Here we go.
Yeah. I
can see the fucking not guilty by reason of insanity plea being built right now.
Yeah. But finally, the Czech Republic requested that Barbora be returned there by Denmark, and they agreed, but Barbora had vanished again.
Well, of course.
Okay. So, Josef Skurla was connected to the Grail movement along with these other people. Victor was his brother, Barbara's father.
So Victor was Barbara's father.
Correct.
Okay,
no, wait. Damn it, I got it wrong. Her father was Josef.
Josef was the father.
Okay, Victor was connected to the Grail movement along with these other people.
Okay, so they were all in the cult.
Josef was his brother, who was Barbara's father. I got it now. I got it right. Yay.
Okay, so Victor's the uncle then.
Right. Exactly. So
okay,
but it was all revealed that Clara was in the cult as well.
Oh boy,
the Grail movement. They hadn't split yet, but this was the splinter group from the Grail movement. It was called Maravensi, which translates to ants.
Okay.
Every ant member had once been part of the Grail movement, and the ants originated as a Boy Scout group and then turned into a cult.
Oh boy. There's an unexpected twist.
So, I mean, and these are not These people are not like affiliated with the Anthill kids, because the Anthill kids were from Canada.
Yeah, that's funny because you said that, because that's the first thing I thought when you said they called themselves the Ants.
The Grail movement is based on a text called "In the Light of Truth," the Grail Message, and it was published in 1926 by Oskar Ernest Bernhardt, a German.
Okay.
Perfect Nugan. And and it began as a messianic movement centered around Bernhardt himself. Yeah, he was known by his followers as the Son of Light, or the Son of the Holy Spirit, and that was the name of him in a previous life during the time of Moses.
Oh,
like in our cult outro, one of the lyrics says, "If someone says they're God, you just tell them farewell."
Right.
Because if somebody says I'm God, or I'm part of God's hierarchy, no good will come of that.
No, it won't.
So today they claim 10,000 members. Yeah, this is the Grail movement. They claim 10,000 members worldwide. They have a lot of satellites who operate independently. Bernhardt died in 1941, and it was said that God had called his servant home. Where have we heard that before?
Everywhere.
Old Hef.
Yeah, that's where I was getting there. Old Hef, yeah.
Old Hef, yeah. So the cult members were 100% loyal to each other, but Clara and Katerina were being held separately. But they tried to stay silent, other than swearing that there were no other players in this whole mess. Investigators didn't believe it.
Okay,
do you believe it?
I would hope not. No, I don't believe it one fucking bit, so I hope they wouldn't.
Right. So they suspected that the documents used to adopt Annika were forged. And the writing on the document matched the writing in the letter that Annika had written. So this confirms to them that at least Barbara and Barbara and Katerina were in this together, and therefore the cult as well.
Yes. I would think so, yes.
Yeah. So, as the interviewing of the two boys continued, they began saying that two men were also involved in the abuse. One was called Jerome, and the other they didn't know the name of. Investigators showed them file photos of the cult members that they had pictures of, and they both identified John Skurla and Jan, or no, they're both Jan and Jan. Jan Skurla and Jan Turek as their abusers.
Oh.
John Skurla was the son of Joseph Skurla and the brother of Barbara's brother.
Okay.
Turek ran a rehab center for aggressive dogs.
All right. I'm gonna have to start taking notes. There's like so many people and everything going on. This is getting a little confusing.
I know. You know, it took me 8 hours straight to write out these notes yesterday.
Yeah, I'd believe it.
8 freaking hours because I was trying to figure out where the hell it was going. It's like I listened to a couple podcasts and everything about it as well, and everything, and it's just like there was one that I listened to that did a decent job of keeping everything in order.
Right.
But it was and even she was saying it's like, okay, I'm getting lost here. So so I did my best to keep everything flowing correctly. But
going fine. It's just there's a lot of names going around and it's hard to keep track. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is one of those this happens to be a lot of names, and it's like, dude, it's hard to keep track because they're all like, it's not like fucking, whatever, Tony and all them, and it's like you can keep track because they're like, you know what I mean,
right?
Like in the Michael Malloy episode, because they all had like nicknames.
Right.
And you can
Tony.
you can keep track of that shit. These are all just regular people's names, and a lot of them are the same or similar, and it's just like, God damn, which one is that again? Fuck.
Yeah.
But anyway, you're doing a great job, so carry on.
Thank you. Well, now buckle up, because I'm going to tell you about the whole extent of the abuse.
Oh, boy, here we go.
Trigger warning. Okay, so you're going to want to skip forward about 5 minutes. It all began the summer of 2006. Clara had never shown any signs of violence. It all started suddenly, and it was so intense and quick that the boys were unable to process it. It caught them off guard. I mean, it was just like, boom. You know how when somebody just comes up and sucker punches you, and you're just like stunned, and you don't know what to do, and that's usually when you get your ass kicked is while you're stunned.
Oh, yeah, jumped. Yeah.
So, yeah, it was like that.
Well,
they were taken to a cottage in the woods by Clara, Katerina, and Annika. And when they got there were 2 dog kennels waiting for them. And they were immediately locked into the dog kennels and told to be quiet. You know, for several days, they were only taken out of the cages to be severely abused.
Oh, man.
So, shortly after they got there, Hannah, Jan and Jan, they arrived. Yeah, and with bags over their heads, they were beaten with belt buckles, a bamboo pole, scratched with forks, breaking the skin. They had cigarettes put out on their groin, and then boiling water poured over the cigarette burns.
Holy shit. Oh, fuck.
They were even waterboarded.
Oh, man.
It was also psychological torture, and even worse than being caged. That's even worse than being caged. But this group of fucks would even taunt them and belittle them as it was happening. And as the abuse was happening, They were forced to memorize vulgar words and phrases. They blasted death metal in their ears for hours on end.
Of course,
and they were even forced to hurt each other. They were forced to dig graves and lie in them, and then they were told, like, while they were in these graves that they themselves had dug, like, okay, see, you're dead. You're dead. You're dead.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, and now I heard on a podcast, I can't remember which one, but at one point they brought the kids in. And the kids are naked through this whole time, but they brought the kids in, and they had Jacob drink a glass of water, and then they told them that the glass of water was poisoned, and then they took Jacob outside, and when they took Jacob outside, they said, okay, you're going to lie in there and you're going to pretend that you're dead, and we're going to bring Andre out, and we're going to tell him that we poisoned you, or poisoned him.
Oh, Jesus.
So they did that, and they played that. It's just so bad.
What the fuck, man? Holy fuck. All right. Well.
So Andre got the worst of it, and he was the youngest.
Yeah.
And at one point, someone held him down, and Clara cut a piece of meat from his rear end. This was the source of those scars. And then the adults passed around the meat and ate it.
It's like, dude, like, I want to make a joke, but I just can't.
I know.
It's like, I mean, that's like, how do you... Fuck, all right. Well, all right.
Like, what the hell makes you even think that this is remotely okay? I
don't know, dude. There's definitely a lot wrong with these people other than just being in a cult. I mean, there's just like...
Oh, yeah.
There is just like a whole lot of shit wrong with these people.
I'm thinking that what it is... Well, I'll get to that at the end.
Yeah.
What happened once they came back from the cottage was tame by comparison, but it was still way too much for anybody to have to endure.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Fuck, dude. That's terrible.
Yeah. I had and that was when I sent that message to you last night. It's like, big trigger warning on this one.
Yeah. No, I figured. I mean, dude, when you just read me the back cover of the book, Right, that is this one, right? That we're doing, or is that another?
Yeah,
one?
that's this one.
Okay, yeah, dude. When you were just reading me the back cover, I thought you were reading from the book to me. I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right.
So Jacob was allowed to go to school, but his behavior changed drastically. And Andre was to be, air quote, homeschooled by Hannah, who chained him to a desk and beat him frequently.
Wow.
Then they moved to the house in Kurim, where he was locked in the closet and where he was kept for months until Eddie T's baby monitor picked up the signals from Clara's camera.
Yeah. Well, that was fortunate at least.
Yeah,
I guess.
He's the hero of this story.
Head on.
Yeah. But the question is why? It was obviously the cult. Yeah, was it just discipline that got carried away, resulting in a mob mentality? You know, I mean, we don't know at this point.
Yeah.
And the Grail movement preached firm and strong-handed discipline. But
yeah, but not eating your kid's ass cheek, man. There's something wrong with that.
I don't think they had this in mind when they said that. You know, I'm sure that what they meant is actually abuse, but not like this. Not nowhere near this. I mean, hell, it's 2007. Corporal punishment has pretty much been outlawed at that point, even in 2007. Well, maybe not in the Czech Republic, but in the United States.
Oh yeah, you know.
Okay, Barbara as Annika alleged that the boys were threatening her, so they brought in the cult to set them on the right path.
Okay.
Another possibility is exploitation films.
Yeah.
There was the camera. There was a videotape found of Andre being abused, and on Andre just being chained up in that room and everything.
Yeah, were they doing like some dark web shit?
Yeah, that's another possibility. You know, and when the police rescued Andre, they were taking pictures of everything, and they had to take a picture of Andre too. And Andre posed and smiled for the camera, like he was used to being photographed.
Yeah, there's definitely something. There's got to be something to that.
So that and shit like this is big money on the dark web.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I hear anyway. I wouldn't know firsthand, but
I wouldn't either. I know somebody who goes on it, and he asked me if I wanted to know how to do it. I'm like, no, I don't want to know. I do not want to know how to go on the dark web.
That doesn't even interest me, not in the slightest.
Well, if somebody told me how to do it, I might be drunk one night and be like, let's see what this shit's all about.
and then your life changes for fucking ever.
Oh, yeah. So I'm like, nope, I don't even want to know.
Yep. No desire.
So, and you can't just Google how to access the dark web.
Ignorance
they don't
is bliss.
Work that way.
Actually, you can,
exactly.
and they'll find videos that tell you how to do it.
You're stupid if you click one of those links because it's going to go to your IP address.
Dude, you can look that shit up on YouTube, man. It tells you what to do.
That's crazy.
I know. I've seen it. I haven't done it, but I've seen it. I'm not ever going to do that, dude. Because I don't want none of that, dude. Fuck that shit, dude.
No, me either. So late in 2007, Barbara was still MIA. She was last seen in Denmark, and they had to find her in order to for her to answer to the abuse. Now, enter another player.
Oh God, another name to keep track of. Damn, I really need to be taking notes.
In Oslo, Norway. And it wasn't Varg. It wasn't Varg.
Was it Varg Vikarnes or
no. Vikarnes? No, it wasn't. It wasn't Varg.
All right then.
In January 2008, a man returned a car that he had rented, and police raided. They burst into the rental company and they arrested him.
Okay.
Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.
End of story? It can't be. No, it can't be.
No, it's not. So the man's name was Michael Riha, and he was traveling with a 13-year-old boy who had been abducted from an Oslo adoption or orphanage several weeks prior.
Oh.
Yeah, the boy's name was Adam, and he was the son of a Czech playwright named Martin Farner, who had moved to Norway the previous summer. Adam was troubled, and he told stories of being abused by his father. He was nervous, and he had hysterical breakdowns, and teachers were concerned, and they brought in a psychologist to counsel him. And Adam said that his father hurt lots of kids, so he was removed from his father's custody, and his father was locked up, and Adam was placed in the orphanage.
Oh, man.
Shortly later, the kids at the orphanage were taken on a field trip where Adam bolted and jumped into a car which sped off. It was assumed that Adam had been kidnapped by the traffickers that were involved with his father.
Uh-huh.
And Adam's face was plastered all over Norway. On January 19th, Adam was seen with a man, likely Michael Riha. He was holding hands with the man, and they entered a hotel asking to use the phone. And this was odd because they had a cell phone.
Oh, okay.
So the man had a Russian accent, and the hotel staff assumed that they were attempting a con of some kind. So they called the police.
All right.
Well, they called the police after these two left.
Yeah.
And then the police took descriptions and asked if the boy was okay, and he had appeared to be fine. It was learned that Farner had been accompanied by Michael Riha and his sister when they came to Norway. So they tracked Riha to the car rental place and waited, and when he returned the car, they grabbed him. And they grabbed him and Adam. Surprise, motherfucker.
Surprise, motherfucker.
And you know what Riha said?
You
know what Riha said? He said, "Perfect Nugan."
Somehow I don't think he said that.
No, I don't either.
He probably said, "Dude, get the money from the horse, man. The horse pays for everything."
It was the horse. So they realized that when they started interviewing the pair, they realized that it wasn't Adam at all. Pick a guess.
Oh no. I don't know. I don't even know where to go with that.
It was Barbara.
So she's...
Huh?
So she's played like a young girl and a young boy now?
Yeah.
Wait, is that how they got her out of Denmark? Or got her away from...
Yeah. Or out of Denmark and into... Yeah.
Oh. See? I didn't expect that.
So Farner's wife, Helena, had brought Adam, air quote, Adam, to the school where, air quote, he had attended disguised as a boy.
Wow.
And so Barbara was arrested, and Farner was actually released from prison or from jail, and the charges against him were dropped. But it was also learned that Farner was in a movement that was recognized as it in many countries. The cult.
The cult,
yeah. Yeah.
Which one?
So
the Grail cult or the Ants?
The Grail movement. I don't think he was part of the Ants.
Okay.
So it was also learned that Barbara had met up with Farner shortly after leaving the Czech Republic, and they agreed to have her take his son's identity. Why? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I honestly have no freaking idea.
Because these people are like obviously insane. There's definitely screws loose with all these people so far in this story, except for the fucking kids. The real kids.
It's like, this is okay. It's like when police are interrogating people. If the story that the person they're interrogating is like full of details and everything, like long details, it's like they're more likely to think that you're lying at that point.
Yeah.
But this whole thing is like that, you know?
Yeah. I don't know, man. I can't. I'm trying to keep up, and I'm trying to like keep all this straight in my head, but it's like, dude, there's just so much going on.
I know.
This is a busy one. We haven't done a really busy one like this before.
No, I think the busiest one we've done was Richard Ramirez, and that's just because there was a lot of victims there.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, there's like, wow. Anyway, all right. So yeah, there's a bunch of people with screws loose in this story.
But we are getting through it quickly. I'm on page 14.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So in interrogations, Barbora claimed that she had been a victim of torture, where she had been filmed being violated, and on examination, she had cuts and bruises and scars.
Oh. Okay.
And they didn't seem to be self-inflicted, but then she started being uncooperative. So Clara finally decides to speak. You know, she said that she had to do the abuse or bad men would harm them. Barbora said that she had escaped from a group of traffickers that had abused and raped her with the help of the cult, you know, the ants. She came to Clara as Annika to hide from them. And
right.
Clara and Katerina were keeping her safe from these traffickers.
Okay.
You know? And then Hannah drew up air quote real adoption papers. So once Andre was discovered in the closet, Barbora knew that she had to get the hell out of there because someone would wind up ultimately examining her and finding out her true age.
Yeah, her cover is about to be blown.
Yeah, so that's why she bolted out of the institution.
Yeah,
but
why she left? Yeah.
So she escaped, and two men that she didn't know got her to Denmark, and where she met with her father, and then off to Norway, where a foreigner forced her to take on Adam's identity. And I'm not sure if there ever was an Adam.
Yeah.
So, but she was still being raped in Norway. You know, she was being pimped out. You know, and once she was found, she gratefully revealed her true identity to the police. This is her story. This is her story.
This is her. Yeah, this is her version of the event. Okay.
Yeah. So the case
probably
not
true.
Right. The case finally went to trial, and all of the players were charged on various things. Now, I'm not going to go through the specifics, the nitty-gritty details of the trial. I'm just going to give you the highlights from it.
All right.
So, Katerina and Barbara were indicted for slander against. They were also indicted for slander against the children's institution, for the institution's reputation.
Okay.
You know, for basically being part of this ring while working as a social worker for them.
Yeah.
So, the results of the psychiatric exam of Barbora were announced, and she was fit to stand trial. So no, they were trying to do like insanity, but it wasn't going to happen.
Okay. Yeah. Good.
So it was asserted that Barbora had manipulated Clara. Clara then told the whole story in court about how she wound up with Annika. or Barbora.
Yeah.
In 2003, Clara had told Katerina that she wanted to become a social worker to help children, especially abused children. And Katerina invited Clara to her apartment, and there was a kid's bed there and toys, and Katerina said that she had taken a rescued child from traffickers from Norway.
A rescue child, like what? Like getting a dog from the shelter?
Well, she was rescued from the traffickers and then handed off to Katerina. Yeah,
I know, but I had to make a joke in there somewhere. This one's been too serious for too long.
Yeah. She was ill, and she would die of leukemia in several years, and the traffickers were searching for the girl, so this had to be kept secret. And it was Barbora dressed as Annika, and she was also like really super quiet and everything. It's all an act, but she seemed to open up to Clara. Of course she does.
Well, of course.
So Clara decided to make her last years in life comfortable and safe because, she's going to die of cancer and all that stuff. Katerina asked Clara to take Annika into her home, and Clara agreed.
Okay.
So, Katerina then called a doctor on the phone, and he was part of the cult as well, and and supposedly part of the organization that had rescued Annika. But this doctor encouraged what would later happen to the boys, and they never met in person, only on phone calls. And Clara trusted her sister, and her sister trusted this doctor. Now the only time that she did meet this person is like she showed up to get like papers to use in the adoption, and it was in a dark car. It could have been anybody.
Yeah.
It was in a dark car, and he just handed the papers off to her, and she took off.
Wow.
So yeah, Annika moved in December of 2005, and she immediately showed apprehension to Jacob and Andre, but she seemed to warm up over time. And it all seemed fine. Everything seemed fine to the boys until the trip to the college.
Uh-oh.
Now, you might want to skip forward about 15 seconds. But starting now. The doctor told her to massage Erica daily from the base of her skull down her entire backbone, and even encouraged Clara to massage Annika's genitals to help them bond as mother and daughter.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So, ridiculous, huh?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even sure if this doctor actually exists.
Yeah, he sounds like a made up like scapegoat kind of a not you know
right.
what I mean? When not really like a scapegoat.
A red herring.
Yeah,
a red herring.
Yeah, like no, it was this guy. This doctor told me to do this. This doctor said this and said that. You got to do what the doctors say, right?
Yeah, it was like Manny.
Yeah.
The Luca Magnotta story, Manny.
Yeah.
So.
Anyway.
So, Annika wanted all of Clara's attention, demanding gifts, and she would throw tantrums if she didn't get her way. And she would threaten self-harm if she didn't get her way. So Clara did whatever Annika wanted to keep her safe.
Oh, okay.
30-year-old woman acting like a spoiled brat.
Yeah, but geez, it's not like that happens nowadays or anything.
Not true. But the boys started acting out because they wanted their mother's attention too. And this started the rift that later led to the abuse.
Oh.
But the boys, they didn't know. They had no idea what was going on. So the doctor was waiting for Clara to mention the rift between Annika and the boys. And he said that they needed a serious attitude adjustment, and the path that they were on would ultimately lead them to prison. But a harsh dose of reality would put them back on the right path.
I see.
This fucking doctor doesn't even know these kids.
So cutting a chunk out of their ass and eating it is going to put them on the right path.
I guess.
Fuck me, dude. Oh, well.
So,
there's still a lot of people in this story with fucking screws loose, dude, because there's just no way that
I know
any normal person would fucking do this shit.
No. So the college trip was planned by Katerina, according to Clara. Everything that happened was directed by this doctor, and Clara said that Katerina was the ringleader once the abuse began. And the captivity also came from the doctor and Katerina. Clara pleaded guilty to all charges. Nobody else did. Turek denied it. He denied it completely. He played the victim and he's saying the allegations ruined his life. But, it's like, but remember what he did for a living? He had that rehab place for, like, aggressive dogs.
Oh, that's
so he's going to have access to kennels. Huh?
Yeah.
He's going to have access to the kennels.
Of course he is.
And, and of course he denied being in the Grail movement, but they had pictures of him on file as a member of, it wasn't the Grail movement, it was the ants.
Yeah.
So, Barbora, was she a willing participant? She said that she was forced into playing Annika, and Katerina had threatened her into participating in the abuse, or she would drown her.
All right. I'm sorry, but you're a 30-year-old woman.
Right. Well, Katerina is too. Her and Katerina are about the same age.
Yeah, but still. You gonna drown me? All right, bring it, bitch. Let's see who wins this fight. That's what a normal person would do. I'm gonna kick your ass! That's what a normal person would do.
Yeah, but also,
dude,
if
she's fucking lying her ass off to get out of this shit, man. Totally.
She probably only weighs like 90 pounds, though. But still, I mean, she's full of shit.
Yeah,
like totally. I said, crimes, cannibalism, cults, and bullshit.
Yeah, this story's full of fucking bullshit, man. Everybody's lying to save their fucking own ass. Except for the mom. Apparently the mom was like, okay, yeah, I did all this shit. Put me in jail. Yeah.
But she maintained that she had been badly sexually abused. But remember when I said that that initially they looked like those things, the wounds weren't self-inflicted?
Yeah.
Upon further review, the cuts were determined to be self-inflicted.
So she did that shit to herself to make it look like she was abused. Fucking lying cunt, man. Put this bitch away.
Right. But she swore up and down that it wasn't true, and then the prosecutor drops a bombshell that proved that she was full of shit. It was self-inflicted.
Yeah.
You'll never guess what this is. What this bombshell is.
I don't know, dude. Don't keep me in suspense, man. Come on.
She was she was fully examined. But she was a virgin. Her hymen was completely intact.
Oh. Well, so much for the abuse story then.
Yeah, so much for the I was trafficked, I was raped. So,
well, unless they went the backdoor route.
The what?
I said unless they went the backdoor route.
Well, I'm pretty sure they. If she had just said, "Oh, well, no, they did it the other way," then they would have ordered her to get examined then. Because if it had been done like multiple times and everything, then
she'd have been wallered out for sure.
Right.
Anyway, enough of that.
So Farner said that he was randomly pulled in by the cult to protect Barbora from the Czech Republic. From the media storm there, from the abuse. So she pretended to be Adam, and Farner didn't like the arrangement, and Barbora began consuming their family. And then that's why she made up the sexual abuse allegations.
Uh-huh.
The trafficking allegations and stuff like that.
Oh, boy.
So Katerina said that she had met Barbora in 1996 and she was a mess. And this, I believe, is this testimony is what I believe is true.
All right.
If there's any way to explain all this bullshit, then this is it, in my opinion.
Okay.
She said that she was a total mess, and Katerina had developed like a mentor type relationship. But then she had begun taking over Katerina's life as well, so they hatched a plan to dump her off on Clara. Nice
all
sister.
Right. Yeah, right? No shit.
So why would Katerina incriminate herself like that if it wasn't true?
Yeah.
It makes her look guilty. It makes her look like a piece of shit. So I actually believe that this is what happened. You know?
I mean, yeah, I agree with you. Dude, it's so hard to tell because everybody's fucking just spouted so much bullshit in this story. But yeah, that probably sounds about right.
Yeah. So there in court, a firestorm between Clara and Katerina broke out. I mean, Clara couldn't contain herself and she just got up and started screaming at Katerina. So the story was in a media frenzy, all over the country, all over the region and everything. This was like front page news.
Uh-huh.
And on October 24th, 2008, Katerina was sentenced to 10 years. Clara was sentenced to 9 years. Hannah and John Skurla got 7 years. Turek and Barbora each got 5 years. And all of these sentences were in maximum security prisons.
Oh.
But still, I mean,
that's
why?
That's getting off light, dude. I'm sorry. That's.
Oh yeah, but Barbora only got 5 years, but Clara, after being, after it was revealed that by Katerina that she had set this whole thing up, Clara still gets 9 years, even though she was duped.
Well, she did plead guilty, though, didn't she? You say that?
That's true. But still, why? Why all this subterfuge? Why all these people? Why beat the shit out of the kids?
I have no idea. Oh, no, because they have screws loose, man. Every fucking one of them is just like not right in the brain, man.
I know.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. I mean, like, why would you make this convoluted story and do all these crazy ass fucking things?
Oh, I know. It's ridiculous.
If you're not fucking, I mean, the only people that do that shit are people like in really bad fucking movies or people that just ain't right in the head. I mean, dude, this kind of shit doesn't happen in real life. Unless people are just fucked in the head, dude. I mean, this is the kind of shit you see on them shitty fucking Sci-Fi Channel B movies, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but there was a movie made based on this story, and it was called Orphan.
Orphan, yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking of, because when you started talking about that, and I said this sounds familiar.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen the movie, but I think I've seen like stuff about it, so that's why it seemed familiar.
Right?
Because that's got to be what I saw.
A prequel came out recently.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's called Orphan: The First Kill.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, it's based on, it's just loosely based on it. The story itself is fiction. It has nothing to do with this.
Yeah, I know. It's just the fact that it's an older woman playing a younger girl,
masquerading as and a younger boy. But that, I don't know if that happened in the movie or not. I haven't seen the movie. I'm
pretty sure it did.
But
because that's why it sounds familiar. I know I've seen that shit. So anyway.
So the Grail movement disavowed the ants completely.
Of course.
And I just gotta, it's just what was the real reason behind the abuse? I mean, what purpose did it serve? I mean, it's just like that we don't know, and I think that it's just a case of these people are just fucked in the head, like you were saying.
Yeah, they're just fucked in the head, dude. Seriously, they're just screws loose. These people just for whatever reason they did what they did, and it's fucking disgusting. But
yeah,
what can you do? I mean. There are people out there like that fucking think all this shit is okay and they don't care.
Right.
And it's just, I don't know. It's a sad
crazy
fact of the world we live in,
Yeah. But that's
and
it.
I blame the internet.
We're done. Huh?
I said I blame the internet.
But that's it. We're done. I mean, believe it or
right.
not, we got through this one really fast.
Yeah, dude, we did. Hour and 30. Nice.
Yeah. So, all right, and I guess we're gonna wrap it up here, and don't know what episode we're gonna cover after this one, but because I don't have anything planned. But I mean, there's gonna be another. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll jump off that bridge when we get to it.
Yep. So, thank you very much for listening. I mean, we really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And we, just give us a rate, give us a review, and the show keeps getting more and more popular. More people are finding it. People are starting to interact with us on Twitter and everything, and I would interact more on Facebook, but the way that Zuck's got it all screwed up now with the pages and everything, it's like impossible to. It's just nerve-wracking how they do it. You have to sign out of your page and then sign into that one, and you have to hunt for the notifications and all that stuff. So, and
yeah,
but
I said, yeah, it's a bit of a pain.
Yeah. So, we're gonna just check out our website. It's on the link that you more than likely found this in. It's got all of our episodes and on the links to all the various different platforms. It's got links to my original music and all of our social. So check that out. And until next time, later.
Cheers, everybody.